morning, Rams. Welcome back to another episode of the Ram Report Morning Show. I'm your host, Lara Pavlovic, as always bringing you the Hightstown scoop. The 2020 presidential election is coming up, and here at Hightstown we have a whole class dedicated to it. Here's Josh Carmona with more on the story.
It's no secret that election season is upon us, with so many people casting their presidential election ballots already. Whether the winner is Republican Donald Trump or Democrat Joe Biden, the results may not be publicly available for over a week. Regardless, this election has certainly been a complex one. Polling data has fluctuated, promises have been made, and allegations have been thrown. There's clearly a lot of information to cover when talking about the election, so much so that Hightstown created a new course for it. I asked Mr. Camps, the teacher of the presidential election class, about the class and the election.
Who Runs America was a class conceived in 2016 that we ran then and we're running again that gives students the opportunity to focus in on, specifically in this season, the presidential election. Just some of these topics that we don't always get a chance to get in depth in other history classes. So we wanted to afford students the opportunity, of those who wanted it, the chance to look closely, to ask questions, to study, to question their own worldview and how they've arrived at some of the political opinions that they do have. And so that's what we really try to focus on in this class. It's a great opportunity for students that we hope to continue to run. And then for this particular election cycle, we've been really grateful that we're putting together a voting guide that we're going to put out to students very shortly so that students can participate in a mock election, focusing on some of the issues that are most important to them.
If you're a senior, make sure to vote on November 3rd. I'm Josh Carmona for the Ram Report. Back to you.
Thanks, Josh. If you're a senior and eligible to vote, make sure that you're registered and vote by November 3rd. With 2 weeks left before we go back to school, people are still trying to interact with each other in any way they know how. The game Among Us has been in the forefront of their minds. Here's Dylan Burke with the story.
I'm sure many of you are aware of or play the massively popular game Among Us. People are drawn to its unique multiplayer mystery experience, which puts a number of players in space with the goal of identifying which players are imposters. It's all the rage right now, and students are playing it all the time.
I like playing Among Us because the game doesn't have any complicated mechanics and it's all about problem solving and paying close attention to details, and I just enjoy playing with my friends.
Some students have taken things a step further by playing it while in class. Students have been sending invite codes to their friends using the Zoom chat feature, somehow thinking teachers wouldn't notice, secretly playing the game during class.
So I'm a big Among Us fan. I play a lot with some of my friends, and so I understand how to send codes back and forth to start, a new game and to invite people. And one of the days last week, one of the math teachers sent a message saying, "Hey, what does TSQ MVR mean?" And another one goes, "Hey, I got HQK HDM," and I'm like, "Oh, these kids aren't paying attention in class. They're playing Among Us instead. They're inviting their classmates to play." So I quickly decided to send an email to staff to let them know, hey, this is what's going on in your classrooms. If you see these codes, watch out. These kids aren't really paying attention to what they're doing. So while I would say I'm sorry to ruin your fun, I'm really not.
Please don't try to play games during class. You will be caught. Just wait until after school to start your gaming sessions. I'm Dylan Burke for the Ram Report. Back to you.
Thanks, Dylan. Hopefully, people will save games until after school. Remember, please don't play Among Us during class. Mr. S and the yearbook team would like students to reach out with more photos. If you've got any photos that you think would work, you can send them in to him. Additionally, the tentative time for senior photos is November 30th through December 4th. Stay tuned because we'll let you know next week how you may be able to get a free yearbook. Recently, a staple of every Hightstown school year was able to take place, virtually of course. I'm talking about Rush Week, when new students get a taste of our school's clubs. Here's Matthew Salter with the story.
Just like most of Hightstown High School's events this school year, Rush Week for clubs took place entirely online for interested students. Rush Week allows for students to learn more about the various clubs that Hightstown has to offer. Some of the most popular being business clubs like DECA, foreign language clubs, and student council committees. Google Slides presentations were posted on Google Classroom for each grade to access, with information on clubs along with the links to Zoom meetings posted on them. The Zoom meetings were all scheduled for different times throughout the week in order for students to be able to attend them all and determine which they are most interested in joining. We spoke to a few club presidents asking them how Rush Week went for their club and how was the attendance.
Rush Week went super well for Artists Union. We got tons of responses on our interest forum, and I'm just super grateful to Student Council for trying their best to adapt to this virtual situation.
So I'm with the debate team, and last week's Rush Week meeting was excellent. We had plenty of new members, and among the new members, the interest was really high. We got some excellent questions that I didn't even think of. So yeah, we're definitely looking forward to this year.
Although these interest meetings took place online, many of the events and meetings planned in the future do include in-person activities with social distancing measures in place. I'm Matthew Salter for the RAM Report. Back to you.
Thanks, Matt. It's good to see that, even virtually, interest in clubs is still high. Following up on last week's story on virtual and hybrid learning, here's Rakshan Patel, back with more information.
Hightstown Rams were back with the results of a survey taken place last week about hybrid and all remote learning and school reopening on November 9th. According to the result, 56% of Hightstown students have chosen hybrid learning. Estimating there are 1,600 students in Hightstown High School, about 900 students have chosen hybrid learning. Since the students who have chosen hybrid will be divided into two cohorts, that means approximately 450 students will be in a building on any given school day. A further complication is that 50 teachers have chosen to stay home for the entire school year, and the emails alerting students who have those teachers have sent out this week. So the data is in, the plans are clear, but we still have to see how it works out in practice. Hightstown Rams, stay well and stay safe. I'm Rakshan Patel from Ram Report. Back to you.
Thanks, Rakshan. Let's hope that everything goes smoothly in returning back to school. That concludes this week's RAM Report. Thanks for tuning in, and come back next week for more Hightstown news. I'm your host, Lara Pavlovic. Enjoy the weekend and stay safe, happy, and healthy.